This is the end. The end. Douglas MacArthur, the U.S. general in the Pacific and head of all Pacific Allied attacks, waved ashore on the islands of Leyte Gulf in the Philippines. He said before he left, years earlier, that he would return. His army was almost wiped out and was forced to surrender by the Japanese, and he returned later, in late 1944, to recapture the Philippines. Douglas MacArthur is in front here, and along with him are his other officers. Besides the Philippines, the U.S. also invaded the Volcano Islands just south of Japan. Here, U.S. soldiers, Marines, lift the legendary U.S. flag over the mountains of Mount Suribachi on Iwo Jima, 1945. U.S. Marines in action on the island of Okinawa, just south of Japan, 1945. The war was going on for quite a long while, and the Allies were almost at Japan. They had overrun the East Indies and had also taken back much of Southeast Asia by now. All they needed to do now was invade Japan, which was going to be a hard task. However, President Harry Truman authorized the use of a bomb that would later change the world. That would be, that its effect on the world would be dynamic. The atom bomb. The U.S. had been testing these bombs throughout the war and were now ready to use them. They used them only on 2 cities because they knew the great destruction that they could cause. Atomic bombs like these were dropped on 2 Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These smoke clouds were characteristic of the bombs, as they let off huge explosions in a reaction called nuclear fission, where atomic particles were split together, or split in half and split into many pieces by sheer force, and the energy that would be exerted in such a chemical reaction was enough to level a city. The age of the atomic bomb had come, and the atomic age was upon the entire world. When the atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Soviet army, which had just recently defeated the Germans in Europe, crossed the border into China and invaded Manchukuo, that is Manchuria, in 1945, and the Japanese were soon forced to surrender in September. World War II was over, and it had been a costly war, but the Allies had eventually won. No longer would the German, Italian, and Japanese dictators ever have a chance of ruling the world.